Welcome to The Real Estate Show. From buying to selling and everything in between. Rochester's home for everything real estate. And now, your hosts from the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. It's Anthony Butera and Jason Mancuso.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 103 of The Real Estate Show. Anthony and Jason here. Guys, welcome. Hello.
Roger.
You said you wanted to start it with the Buffalo Bills. What's going on? Just because they're doing good?
Yeah, I want to talk about them as much as possible.
Oh, you're on the bandwagon now?
Dude, what do you mean? Why? Because I said that they were going to lose? They should have lost.
You're Pete the pessimist.
Yeah. Seattle game, I don't know what happened. They destroyed Seattle game. The last time we did a show, because we were off last week, was going into the Patriots game and
Squeaked it out.
squeaked it out because Cam fumbled the ball. I mean, it was...
Win's a win.
Yeah, I gotcha. I don't know. We'll see. Arizona this Sunday, that'll be a good game. Another high-scoring game.
So, I mean, just terrible. Like, I'll jinx them by saying this, but whatever. They're going to end up with a home playoff game and no fans.
What makes you say
How's
that?
it? What? No fans?
No, I'm just saying home playoff game.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? They're crushing
Miami? Yeah, Miami's right there, buddy.
Oh, you are.
Tua.
Too much.
Yeah. Miami's got a 4-game stretch. Miami has a cakewalk for the next 4 games. Bill's got a tough schedule.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Record this, Mark.
Okay, we got it. Got on tape.
Okay, good.
We got it.
Hope you guys can rub it in my face.
Yeah.
I was trying to look up...
I see your strategy, though.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
I'm looking up because we talked about it last time, Tre'Davious White and the lawsuit.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything more.
It says, this was from a week ago, in the lawsuit... What was that? Who was getting sued? What was the idea behind that one? Somebody pulled out of an offer, or
the sellers. The sellers were getting sued. The brokerage was getting sued.
And now they just said that Tre'Davious White, he's being removed from the case. So he's not even part of it anymore.
Yeah, he can't be. He should have never been made a party to it. It has nothing to do with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's no longer a story.
Obviously, it wouldn't make the news if it weren't for him, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
But,
all right. Yeah. So what do we want to talk about, like photo day, right?
Yeah.
Before selling your home.
Yeah, we've been working on weeks for this topic. 30 seconds before we got on. The reason it was top of mind was because I just had some virtual staging done on a home that was just built, literally just finished this week. And it was sitting empty, and the virtual staging company knocked it out of the park with the quality of the photos and what they did. And the reason we did virtual staging in this case is because the house was empty, and with empty homes, like older homes, you don't really need to define the space. But now with like these open floor plans, it's like, wait a second, this is like this kitchen island in the middle of a gymnasium. Where's everything supposed to go? So we did the job there, but above and beyond just virtual staging, which we could talk more about, it's just like, if there's one thing I'm really, really crazy about is photo day and how the home should look on photo day.
Well, and our emphasis is that's the most important day of the whole process.
No doubt.
This is your time to make the property shine. And we go out of our way to tell, like, it's 110%. The house is ready, done, as good as it's ever going to be there for photo day when our photographer shows up to get the pictures that are going to be used for everything moving forward. After that, when the property's being shown, it's not that you leave dirty dishes in the sink, but it doesn't have to be as perfect as it is for photo day.
Yeah, you could pull the toaster oven back out. You could pull some other stuff back out. But for photo day, ideally just furniture and nothing else really showing.
Yeah. So, and it becomes comical, like, whether it's there's various, like I've seen Facebook posts with like funny, real estate photos, and you see a kid in the background, or whatever it is, dirty underwear type of thing. But you not only is the goal to not get on one of those posts, but to really like present the house in the best manner possible. This is your time to do it. This is where all other marketing is gonna derive from these photos that we take. We're fortunate enough to where we have a professionally trained photographer on our staff that during the week we're able to get her out wherever we need to, and we're not relying on third party photographers to work around their scheduling. But you have to, I guess like point one, you have to have professional photos taken. As good as the iPhone cameras are, or whatever camera on your phone is, there's just a difference between that and something that's professionally edited, I guess, more so than anything. And to you're doing a disservice to yourself if you're not doing that this day and age, because we've quickly over, I don't know, what would you say, Anthony? Like the last 5 years, the market's transitioned to where, maybe 25% of listing photos 5-7 years ago were professionally taken, to now, 95% of them are, it feels like. If you're that, if you're the seller that doesn't have professional photos, you're going to stand out in a really bad way now moving forward. So, that's point. That's above all.
Especially back in the day, what were people basing it off of? Like a small black and white thumbnail in in the newspaper type of thing?
Oh God, well, way back in the day,
right? So I don't know. It's just like there's like 30 pictures for every house now.
Well, yeah, honestly, like pre 1997, it was the newspaper. You would put it in, and not necessarily a photo, just the information. Like that wasn't that long ago, where it was just the address, the price, and probably the open house date and time. And then like you go back a little bit even further, agents that that work with us that have been in the business for like 30 plus years. You would get what's called the hot sheet, and each brokerage would get the hot sheet delivered to their office every day, and the agents could see off of the hot sheet like what was coming up and if they had buyers with that criteria. So like, it wasn't that long ago where it seemed really archaic. You think about how far we've advanced, and they allow us to put a lot of photos in the MLS, where before it was like 8 pictures you were allowed. And I think the mindset was like, let's just give a curb shot and then leave it as like a teaser. Where now, like, listen, buyers are buying your home online. I always say this, is like they're only justifying the purchase in person, right? So it plays into why photo day is so important. We want them to psychologically be there before they even come to the house, but we have to hit a home run with the photos so they come to your house at all.
Yeah. I think that's a good point in terms of like the in-person showing kind of, I don't want to say more or less, and it's definitely less, but it's like a formality to the process. Yep. Like the buyers got their mind made up before they're walking in the door based on how the property is presented. And, just in the I guess the pace of the world that we live in these days, like if you don't properly present the property online, you're going to get a certain percentage of the buyer pool that just says, I don't want to deal with this, or they must be hiding something, or they're not showing me, the photos that should be shown because, that room must be in poor shape and I'm not even going to bother with it, especially in the competitive market that we're in, where it's like buyers just assume the house is going to sell for an enormous amount that they may not be comfortable with it. And they just decide to pass, or they decide, let's wait a couple of weeks, see if it's still there. And then we'll take the old shot at it at that point. So day one out of the gate, when the house is just listed, it's make or break. And if you don't have great photos, then to be blunt, you're screwed.
Yeah, and if you're, a lot of times we see stuff come on the market still today. And again, it's the minority, but you'll get those listings, and we'll kind of like we'll email it to other agents, kind of like half kidding about it, of like, can you believe what this looks like? They put it on the market, like there's kids or animals in the picture. There's the reflection of the agent in the mirror taking a picture of the bathroom on their cell phone. There's hemorrhoid cream on the nightstand. Like you have to put that.
Does that
shit
come
away.
with the house?
Yeah.
It's like an appliance to get that, right?
You have to include it contractually, but it can come with the house.
Yeah. But buyers don't want to see your shit, number one. And number two, when you have so much stuff in these photos, they're no longer paying attention to the room, the space, or if it would work for them. Now they're distracted, and now they're looking at, oh my God, what is all this stuff? Look at the picture of Mark, perfect example. I'm looking in your background right now. If you said, we want to list the house, guess what? Cute family, and all those photos are coming down.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're going to zoom in and say, wait, do we know these people? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's the guy that got fired from the Zone, right?
It's fired. Yeah. So what's in your opinion, what's better if you have pictures of a house that's completely empty, like almost like just like it's vacant, or would you rather have some furniture in there?
If it's vacant, we can create the space online by virtually staging some rooms. Ideally, your stuff is there, just not all your stuff, probably half your stuff. Like I always tell people, don't get nervous about filling up your basement or filling up your garage. As long as there's enough room for people to walk around to take a quick peek, they're not buying the basement, they're not buying the garage. They get it. It's a 1-car or 2-car garage. Mm-hmm. But we can't have all that stuff in the living room. We can't have all that stuff in the kitchen, and like space. If there's a large kitchen table and there's leaves, I'm asking the sellers, like, let's take those leaves out because people feel like they got a sidewalk around the table just to get to the other side of the kitchen. And that's not good either, because now all of a sudden the experience changes and they're like, wait a second, this is too tight. There's no way we could have Thanksgiving here. You know what I mean? So not that we want to lie, but we want to create the best experience and create the best perception.
Well, yeah. And I mean, staging's a conversation within this. I mean, we've mentioned the virtual staging that we play around with. There's professional staging as well. Mm-hmm. We've got people that we work with in that department. Becomes more of an expense, unfortunately, but that, when the house is being shown, that could really pay off. A lot of people that are flipping homes will go that route just to, again, create the experience, like Anthony said. With homes that are lived in, and currently occupied, there's still this conversation of staging. Like, you have to stage based on what you have. And most times it comes down to, okay, you've lived here a while, you have a lot of stuff, let's start packing it up. It's kind of, less is more conversation. And we actually, we provide our sellers with a pretty detailed checklist, that's a couple pages long, in terms of follow each of these steps room by room and you'll be good. There's really, your textbook at that point. And a lot of that is around decluttering, and even down to, like, let's take a refrigerator as an example. Especially with a stainless steel refrigerator, take all your stuff off it, take all the stuff off the top, take the magnets on the front of it, get Johnny Jr.'s, class homework off of it, all that stuff. And it just provides a cleaner, non-distracting view of the kitchen as an example, but, just room by room, like, what can we remove? What's in this room that anybody could get distracted by and take away focus from the room itself? That's kind of the goal overall. So we have to stage before we photograph, and staging doesn't just apply to a vacant home and having to do something virtual or with hard furniture that you rent. It's something that kind of gets overlooked when sellers are thinking about the process as they're living in it. A lot of people think, like, all right, I'm here, I've been here, nothing's changing, come for the photos, let's get it done.
Yeah. No, I'm creating a punch list with the sellers on that initial appointment of what the room should look like. And we're doing that. And I don't have to go in every case. Like if I see that they're really receptive, I don't have to go through every room. I can do like a kitchen and a living room with them, because once you do that, they establish the idea of like, okay, here's what they're looking for. I get it. Countertops cleared off, nightstands cleared off, any personal photos gone. Kitchen countertops, I'm really big on clearing those out. Blenders, toasters, all that stuff gone. Because I always say, listen, they're not buying your house. They're buying their house. They only have to purchase it from you. So they have to envision what their stuff is going to look like there, and where they're going to place their end tables, and where they're going to put their stuff. So the less we think that we're selling our stuff, the better off we're going to be. But that's why I'm also not like, if someone says, well, we can hold off on getting the stuff moved out of here for the photos, like, hey, you know what? We can easily virtual stage or get stagers in here to physically stage. So like, don't sweat it, especially if their stuff is horrible.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's an aspect, and just in general, like, the less is more aspect leads to, it just has a bigger feel. It feels like more space. If you remove 2 end tables or whatever it is that you use all the time, fine, but just what this is like the return on investment conversation, because we're not asking you to go out and spend a bunch of money. We're just saying, take the time, box stuff up that you're going to be moving anyway. Take the time to do it now. It's going to pay off, in terms of how the home is presented, and that then pays off and, overall money in your pocket. So
what's crazy for me is how one little thing can set the tone for the perception of what the entire home is going to look like online or feel like, right? So let's just say there was a really tidy house. It was really mechanically and cosmetically sound, and they had 2 rooms, the living room and let's just say a dining room, and one had green carpet, the other one had hot pink carpet. Like, just off of that, the experience changes. You're automatically going to assume that this house needs to be completely cosmetically updated only because of those 2 rooms. It's like you've already made up your mind, right? So in cases like that, like the return on your investment for like carpeting, I can't quantify exactly what it is, but I'll tell you that they'll stop looking after that photo because it's going to be perceived that the rest of the house is dated, and it's not the case. There's just these little things we could be doing to, to keep them engaged and force them to come and see it.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I want to bring up, kind of on the same topic, but shifting gears a little bit. This is more of a message for agents handling investment properties with tenants. Like, now more than ever with COVID restrictions and just being responsible and cognizant of disturbing other people that are living in a home. Don't, for an investment property that's rented and occupied, go in there, get 200 photos of the property, every angle, fly through it and get as many pictures as you can, and create a file that you can then share with any inquiries that you have, whether an agent or a potential buyer. This way, especially with rental properties where they're not all, spick and span, people just get the full view of things and know what's going on before you go out and start disturbing tenants. Nobody really does this. I don't see it too often anyway. We do it all the time, have a lot of success with it, and it's just that easy. Like, if you're at the house as a listing agent, spend an extra 10 minutes and just get the photos. Just run through it, literally snapping your phone. Now we're at, like, this doesn't need to be professional, but just provide the content so that you can be effective with your listing strategy around these types of things. Yeah. And shifting back to, the owner occupant homes, you could also kind of have that backup file where, like, if sometimes there's stuff that you don't necessarily want to, I guess, share with the public right off the bat, and you can kind of have a backup file of here's the remaining photos of the property. If it's a situation where they're sensitive to showing, they're difficult to show, like kind of have your qualified interest before they're coming in the door, just to once they see something, it's like, I'm passing. You can find all this out ahead of time without shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, there's always that one room that has like a kiddie tower and a bunch of aquariums.
Right.
Yeah, the aquarium room.
Right.
You guys don't have one? What do you guys feel about like the gag photos that like go viral? Where like they'll have like like a bikini in one. Like, do you think that helps? Having Alyssa go viral.
Or a rubber fist on top of the toilet.
Yeah,
you know what?
How about those type of things?
Lot more. I say a lot, but like I guess seeing it twice is a lot. Like, you've seen these. I've seen listings where the agent or whoever gets the freaking dinosaur costume on, and they're like in the kitchen opening the oven as a dinosaur. It's like, who does that? Maybe we should be doing that.
Yeah. Get a nice return on investment. How much is that dinosaur costume?
Yeah, I don't know.
So not a great strategy.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear the experience. Maybe it worked. But, we're also, keep in mind, we're talking about, that return on investment conversation, right? We're in a market right now where, I guess you can get away with being a goofball and hopping in your dinosaur costume and presenting a listing that way because there's going to be 100 buyers lined up the door, even if the dinosaur takes a dump on the kitchen floor. Mm-hmm. Market shifts, you're probably not doing that, hopefully anyway. So, and even in, I guess point being is, even in this market, there's still a way that you should go about it to effectively present something to the public. Because again, like we talked about, the public's buying homes online, it's different than what it used to be. So you don't want to just take the market for granted and be lazy and throw up 2 pictures that are done with your cell phone and say, it's a seller's market, the rest's going to take care of itself. It very well may, but it's a matter of how much money did you leave on the table for your sellers by not taking the right approach.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Well, if you want to subscribe, you can go to AnthonyButteraTeam.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show. Find us on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. If you're looking to sell or buy, talk to the Anthony Butera team of Keller Williams Realty, Greater Rochester. Visit AnthonyButteraTeam.com.